I genuinely love to hurt. Like, I love to hurt someone because this is why I love the sport. You know, when we're in there, it's very clear, like, I just want to disfigure your face as much as I can. I first ever started kickboxing when I was 14. I got into Muay Thai then, about 3 years after that, when I moved over to the UK. But yeah, I first started kickboxing here in Thurles, and I loved it there. Then I went to a Muay Thai event in Cork, and I started seeing lads elbow each other, and I was like, what's this? This is pretty cool. So then I ended up looking into that, but then while looking into that, I then made the move to the UK. So I wanted to take fighting to a new level. And at the time when I was doing kickboxing, it wasn't that big here in Ireland. It was big, but the professional scene was hard to make it, you know. And I wanted that full-time vibe. I wanted to do it full-time. I didn't want to do it with a part-time job. That wasn't me. I wanted everything had to be fighting. So that's when I made the transition to go to the UK. Unfortunately enough, my father was working to and from the country. So I kind of had a bit of an in to help me get over there. And then, yeah, from there, then it was just a roller coaster, you know.
Is there a big difference between kickboxing and Muay Thai?
Massive difference. Not massive, sorry. Correct me there. The biggest difference, obviously, is elbows and clinch. So in kickboxing, you can punch, kick, knee. In Muay Thai, you can punch, kick, knee, and elbow. Kickboxing is formerly known as Oriental rules, and whereas Muay Thai is known as Thai rules.
Did you find yourself naturally drawn towards combat sports growing up, or did you do any other sports like concealed growing?
No, I was a softie as a young fella. I wasn't a fighter, I wasn't an aggressive young fella. I wasn't really like, if someone was a start at me, I'd probably just walk away, you know, or kind of go into a shell. So I'd done like a bit of football, a bit of hurling. And then, like, you know, went into secondary school and then started feeling the rat of volume of people and kind of groups and popularity, and so that's where I never really fitted in with it. So then upon going in secondary school and learning the hard way of just not being certain people's cup of tea, I was like, right, I need to learn a martial art here, you know, because I'm just a softie walking around and I haven't got many friends. So I was like, I need to do something about this. And then, yeah, I found fighting because just like, you know, young lads are like, you have problems, get into a fight, someone might hit you, it's just usual crack, like. So then I was like, right, I need to do something about this. I can't be standing there useless. So I learned kickboxing to try and fight back people. Whereas what actually happened, I ended up finding the passion, which was obviously where I am today, which thank God it happened. Yeah.
Was there a point in your life that you can remember that you said, I need to go start kickboxing?
Yeah, I got the head slapped off me at a teenage disco. Yeah, that was the turning point of my life. If I hadn't received that punch in the face, I would have never made the transition. And I remember I ran out of Hayes' hotel, and I was ringing my mum and I was crying, like, Mum, I just got punched in the face. I need to go. I need you to pick me up. And she came and picked me up, and you know, the next morning I was calling boxing gyms. I was calling. So actually, I called the boxing gym. They didn't answer. I was like, right, what else is there? I called Taekwondo, got a bit of a different vibe, and then I came across kickboxing. I was like, what the f is this? I was like, oh well, kickboxing. Right, okay, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then Patrick McCool answered the phone. He's like, yeah, come down. And then literally I stepped into the Knox Hall where I was at the time in Thurles, and it was like, all I can say is I stepped into the door and it was like, welcome home. And I was like, Jesus, this is the place. And it's just a small hall with timber floor. We used to train barefoot. It was just, everything about it was rough and ready. You know, I wasn't blasé. I wasn't like, yeah, come on in and you've got all this in. I was just, you either are coming in to do something or you're coming in to do nothing. It's just one or the other, to know. And yeah, that's what made me know that that's what I needed to do with my life.
So tell me then, what does it take to be a fighter at the level that you're on? What does it take? What's your routine look like? What's your day look like? What does it actually take to be a fighter?
Well, it's very demanding. You know, when the hardest part I would say is when you're tired, and you know you're tired, you know you've worked hard, you know you deserve every bit of rest under the sun, but you know there's some doctor somewhere else in the world that wants to knock your head off. So then you're kind of like, I can't not be doing what I need to do, which is training. I can't not be paying attention to my rest. I can't not be making excuses for why I can't go to the gym, you know? And it's like, there's like a very fine, happy medium. You can train very hard, but you gotta train very smart. You know, I think me personally as a fighter, there's not many of my kind of level of fighters on the planet. I genuinely love to hurt. Like, I love to hurt someone because this is why I love the sport. But at the same time, I'm not an aggressive person. You know, I wouldn't start on anyone. I'm not about that life. But at the same time, you know, when we're in there, it's very clear, like, I want to disfigure your face as much as I can. Because that's the sport, you know, that's just how it is. And like, that's the beauty of it. It's beautiful violence, you know. People won't understand this, but that's the point. That's why we understand it and you enjoy the entertainment. That's our job. We often forget we're very simple. We are entertainers, but we are either blasé entertainers or we're straight to the point, you know, and that's what I am. I'm straight to the point. When I fight, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be rough. It's going to be hard. It's going to take you to the depths of the bottom of hell, you know, but that's just the beauty of this game. That's why I love it. Yeah.
Really, that's it. Really, that's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
All this.
Yeah.
See, nice.
Thank you so much. I like nice one.
I suppose that's what every martial art does for me. It is an art.
It's a complete form of beauty, and the thing is, people get it mixed up, like, because they think, because it's an art and because it's full of so much lovely tradition. I love the tradition, but also the tradition, because for me, it's like, this is my bread earner. This is what helps me stand on my own 2 feet, you know. And I often think there's too much respect in this sport, you know, because like the thing is, yeah, I respect everyone, I respect you and all that, but at the end of the day, we got a job to do, you know. Like, this is lovely. The social media is lovely, all that's lovely, but we're all living in a concrete jungle and we're all too afraid to be the lions of this concrete jungle, you know, and we often forget that if everything's shut down, everything, how are you going to live? What, you're going to be careful, you're going to play it safe? You're not, because you're going to have to survive, whether that means fighting, robbing, killing, you have to survive, do you know what I mean? So the fighting aspect for me is the most rawest and purest form of human living that we could actually do, because if nothing was here to protect us, we'd have to protect ourselves, we'd have to protect our closest ones, you know. And that's the thrill that I get from fighting when I'm in there. For them 3 minutes, them 6 minutes, 9 minutes, however long the fight goes, you know, preferably as short as possible, you know what I mean? But like, yeah, that's the sport for me is, in that sense, is why the art is so beautiful. Like,
It's beautiful. And how much of your sport is a mindset, would you say? How much mindset does it help you become the best? How much of your sport is mindset compared to physically demanding?
Yeah, well, the physically demanding thing is obviously very, very high. You know, I mean, it is demanding. Your body goes through numerous injuries in camps. I mean, it's funny. You hear fighters pull out of fights because they're injured in camp. I'm like, fucking hell, mate. Every camp I'm injured, I've got something wrong. Whether my ear is sore, my finger, everything, it's always something. So the mindset then carries that through. And that's where fighters fail a lot of the time. They focus so much on the physicality, the fitness and all that, which is very important. But the mindset is what wins you the fights. You know, when I stare at you in the center of the ring, you know what the crack is. And it's not, I don't do it for toughness. I don't do it for fucking someone to go, oh, you're chance bad. It's going like, I don't care. I don't care what you have to say. Because when we're in there, it's just what's done is done. Do you know what I mean? That's where you can tell me what you done in camp. You can tell me what you were going to do, all this stuff. Tell me how tough you are. We'll see when we're in there. So that's where the mindset comes in. Because how you carry your mind throughout the camp is you have to be bulletproof. I don't give anything to the people I fight. Yeah, they're good, but I'm better. I mean, if I start going, yeah, they're great, they won this, they won that. No. You're good, you're a good athlete, you turn up. I hope you do anyway. I wish you all the best in camp, but I am the number one in anything. So that's where, like, for me, it's the mindset is always 99%, physicality is 1. You know?
I love that. I love your mindset. I love how you're telling me about your mindset and what actually does take to going best. And I see it in you, even the way you carry yourself, walk around best. It's clear to see that this man has stats. Like when you walk into the room, hedge public room without even seeing it, you watch in the interview, you're giving up. So I respect you for that. And what was the most challenging aspect of your journey coming up to become fight?
Definitely, I'd say understanding that it doesn't just happen overnight like that. You know, people think holding this and smiling and having a load of likes on social media is all blasé, but it's hard. It is hard. And it's a dark game, because at the end of the day, when you win, everyone's here. When you lose, it's you, and probably if you got a missus, maybe her. You know, it depends on what she's like. But yeah, it's dark, you know. I remember I lost my first world title fight, and I think I had like 4 people checking on me. But in like the few fights before that, my fucking phone was full all the time. Yo, bro, do you want to meet for a coffee? Oh, you got that new belt, Josh? Should we go get a picture with you? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. And then you lose, and it's like, sorry, Ciaráin who? And so it teaches you what life is like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the time, you're either known because you're doing something, or you're forgotten because you haven't done enough. And when you lose, I'm heavy on myself like that. You know, when I lost that world title, it was heavy, man. I remember going into the change room, I was bursting into tears. You know, you just think you let everyone down, you know, and you let yourself down. But well and truly, you've let no one down. Hey, you just jumped into the ring for 5 rounds, smashed the head off each other. And what made it worse is that fight was super close. And some people were saying I should have won. Some people were saying he definitely won. But in my head, I lost. And that is all that mattered. I didn't care the if, buts, maybes. My hand wasn't raised. So, yeah, that's where I'd say that's the darkest side, you know, of the sport, where people don't look at. They all know about it, but they don't look at it, you know. And then a lot of people dip off when that happens. Like, you know, especially now with the perfect records that have come from boxing and MMA, Muay Thai and all that, we're not like that. You know, we're not about perfect records. If you have a perfect record, you've not fought anyone. You've just fought bums. You've just fought the lads that are fucking handed you as cannon fodder to try and build up a name, you know. And I call names. I've been calling the number 1 of the world now for the last 6 to 8 months, you know. And I'm there, like, you know, I'm here to eat you. Like, you know what I mean? That's what we're here for. So, yeah, definitely that would be the...
Brilliant answer. And that's where you have that word for you,
Yeah.
That's like. So how do you balance the physical demands of training with rest and recovery?
So I just listen to my body. So if I genuinely feel like one day, like just say, I'll obviously have like 2 a day, 2 sessions a day is the main thing. And then I have a physio once a week. So I'm always getting my weekly MOTs, as I call them, you know. Excuse me. So I'm always getting my physio, my acupuncture, like that is a must. And especially obviously as you get older and you're training harder and your body is peaking more and more, you know, the balance of rest and that physical outwork is mad to look at, you know what I mean? You can't just go into training and think, all right, I'm going to train 7 days a week, every day. You can't do that, like, you know. And the thing is, if you are one morning you wake up, you're like, I don't want to train today, things are right. I don't want to train, but can I still do something? And if you can't do something, you spoke to yourself, then take that day off. There's no biggie about it. The only problem is when that day becomes 2 days. You know, that 2 days becomes 2 days a week, every week. You know, I always try and keep my rest 1 day a week with enough like stretching and physio work. So then I'm kind of getting my rest, but active rest, if that makes sense.
MOT, what are the MOT?
So MOT is like the NCT here. So we call it MOT in the UK, you know. So it's like you get the weekly NCT, you know. You got to make sure that their car is okay. So that's basically what I mean by that, you know. It's just, we are like cars, you know. The more we drive ourselves, the more problems are going to come. You need oil changes, you need your tires replaced. It's people forget about that aspect. They think, oh yeah, we need recovery. But I know a lot of athletes' idea of recovery is doing a few stretches for 5 minutes before they train. You know, your body needs an hour of attentiveness, you know what I mean, where it's not doing stressful work, but it's being pushed in more stressful ways. Like, kind of like, I go to a Thai massage sometimes as well, and them fucking Thai women, right, are half the size of me, and they bend me backwards, and like literally I'm like that, falling back. What the am I doing here? Like, what the but then I come out of it and I'm like, wow, like this is like, you have to do stuff that is really uncomfortable and that you don't like doing. in your wrist. And, you know, acupuncture, I always rant and rave about it. I think it's the best thing ever, you know, because it just switches everything off. You know, you could rub a leg like that for 10 hours trying to get a knot out. You stick a needle in there, muscles off. And you just rest for 6 hours, you know, just sit down and do nothing.
That's brilliant. Nice one.
Yeah.
So you said you kind of twice in most weeks, I guess. So in that twice in this, how much have you tried to strength, cardio, stretching? So what does your sessions in a week overall look like? How are you balancing that?
So, but I'll go through my week then. So Monday, start of the week would be clinching at 12 o'clock. So clinching is obviously big in Muay Thai, whereas the grappling side of Muay Thai. So we have clinching every Monday. Fucking doghouse rounds, Jesus. 12 o'clock till about 1:30, and then I train again with my coach Andy at 6 o'clock, and I do an hour of pads with him, and then that's Monday over and done with. I'll go for regular walks throughout the day. I do about 2 long walks a day. So I'm going to do a walk in the morning, train in the middle of the day, and either I'll do a walk in the during the day, or I'll do a walk after my evening session. So I'll have my food, and then my walk will help digest my food, so I go to bed fully digested, ready for the next day. Tuesdays and Thursdays and Saturdays are my strength and conditioning days. So 6 a.m. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then 8 a.m. Saturdays. Me and the lads will do a strength and conditioning workout. Big shout out Kevlar Strength. So we'll do that then 3 times a week. I often do sometimes strength then 4, because obviously I do it full time. The lads don't really do it as much full time. So I will do a little bit more strength with Kevlar if he has time throughout the week. And then later Tuesday, it'll be just more pads, drills with the boys. We'll do like drill session or whatever at 12 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And then Wednesday is sparring, but I don't actually spar for any of my camps. I don't do any sparring. I'll go into that now in a second. But Wednesdays will be sparring days, but I use them as recovery days. I use them as my day to see Patrick, who is my physio, who does all my NCT works. And then Thursdays, similar to Tuesdays, strength and conditioning in the morning, pads and drills and all that. And then Friday is kind of like a 1 session day, I like to call it. Like I'll do 1 big session, and then I might do something like a long walk. I'll do the same, but it'll be a bit less. Saturday then is obviously S&C, but I'll do a bit throughout the weekend. I'll always try and do a bit more. And then Sunday, obviously, I'll try and keep that as a day with nothing to do.
That's great.
So yeah.
Thank you. That's awesome. Really important. And can you share any fight rituals for superstition and that?
Well, Louisa hates this one, but obviously I try and do no sex before a fight, at least 2 weeks. So that's my only ritual. I've got no other rituals. The only thing about that is that for me, it feels like I regain power. I feel like, you know, it's more of a mental thing. I feel like, you know, obviously with your missus or whoever you're into, I feel like that is your relaxation. And I feel like, you know, I can't relax till I know I've got that win, because when I've got a date, so just say my next fight is June 22nd, nothing after June 22nd is relevant, because I could die in the ring. So I can't let my pleasures get the better of me before that fight, you know. And something like a sexual pleasure is something that is so misused, so like, how can I, misunderstood in the terms of, it's something that is there for pleasure, but we are fighters. We don't get that pleasure until we win, you know? So you have to choose one or the other. And I think that's what is a big, heavy thing, especially for relationships with fighters. People don't realize who and what we are. Like, we're not the same as anyone, you know? I mean, we strive to fight. And like, people that look past their fight date, stupid. Because you're not a fighter then, you know? You have to leave everything in that ring. You know, if you're willing to go, yeah, sure, that's the fight date, whatever. So that'd be my ritual, my only one. I used to be a bit fucking weird, like about corner colors. If I'm in the red corner, I'll win. If I'm in the blue, I'll lose. And then I realized I lost in both ones, so it's just fine. So like, yeah.
And then you got a lot more scientific about it. So the 2 weeks prior to the fight, do you say that's a testosterone thing, or when you don't want to give away your energy, or really want to concentrate your energy all into the fight and on these fights? And also on top of that, what the longest you went sexual intercourse and say that?
Jeez, I think longest time is about 4 or 5 weeks, I think, you know, 6 weeks. Yeah, 6 weeks. But the thing is, like, though, like, I don't, this isn't difficult for me to talk about, because fighting will always be my number one, you know, before my family, for the kindest respect. Louisa, fighting is my life. So, you know, you gotta think like, that doesn't distract me. Never will, you know. I mean, if it does, well, then I shouldn't be fighting. But then it goes into anything you do, like fighting, weightlifting, and working as a businessman, businesswoman, whatever you want to be. You know, you have to put that first all the time, you know, and it's just very simple. You know, there's no beating around the bush about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can dip and dab with it if you want, but for me, I think it's distractions. You know, testosterone, scientific facts, I don't know. I'm not here to spit the science about it. You know, I hear lads talk about it, and some lads say, you'll be fine a week out, so you'll be fine 4 days out. I'm like, right, well, if I do 6 weeks, I know I'm fucking bully, because I know that's what I need to do, you know?
That's such a great answer, and it's very fascinating you say that, as I can see where you're coming from. In terms of giving in to temptations and pleasures, it's trying more of your main goal, main focus. So that's very, very interesting to say that. So outside of fighting, what are some hobbies or activities that you enjoy and have?
Jeez, I don't even know. Like, I mean, I don't actually. I'm very like. Do you know what it is? I just love going for walks. I love going for walks with Louisa. I love just chilling. You know, I try and get into Xbox and stuff like that, but I fall asleep all the time. You know, I'm very much. I'm either very active or I'm just asleep. You know, and that's what I do, you know what I mean? And then in terms of hobbies, I mean, do I have any? Go hike, yeah, every now and then. But yeah, same, like, activities, as long as I'm doing something physical, I'm happy with that, you know? I'm not a great reader. I can't sit down for very long, you know, because I love to be out and doing stuff, moving, you know, using the body for what it's for, do you know what I mean? And I find, like, when I see so many people that don't use the body for what it's for, I'm like, oh my God, missing out on so much fun, you know. And you don't even have to graft, you don't even have to reach maximum heart rate levels, you don't have to eat minimum calories, you can just do shit and have fun. And like, I think like hiking actually is a great one, because the thing is, there's a level of achievement after you finish a hike, you know, and you reach a peak, or you do a certain distance, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that is an awesome hobby to have, and it takes your mind away from stuff. We live in such a world where everything is so congested, full of, like, you know what I mean? There's all around us, you know what I mean? Problems, people's opinions, X, Y, Z, and whatever. You go up into a mountain, quiet, it's nothing. You know, there's nothing around you. There's a fucking goat looking at you, going, "What you doing there?" Do you know? And you know, so yeah, that's what I love doing. Yeah.
So after a very tough, demanding training session or fight, how do you rest immediately after? Recover immediately after that?
Yeah, so I will go home. Usually I'll have a bit of food. I have like a small bit of food or whatever. But I'll just chill, just lie down on my bed. You know, I just relax. I might even do some stretching, to be fair. Like, just loose stretching. Like, I might have something on the TV in my room, like, you know, and just kind of just lie on the ground and just lie down like a floppy fish, really. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, that's kind of all I really do. It's people look for, like, there's such a thing, like, you know, people look for like the secret, you know, the secret's simple. You gotta, like, what you do is shut down. So how can you shut down? And after a session, you know, a lot of people want to do lots of different things, and then your body's not going to recover at all, you know. So whatever can keep you in one spot for as long as possible, you know. But then that's down to how hard you train. If you train and you say you train really hard, but you've got loads of energy to do something, well, I'm pretty sure you're lying about something, you know. So the biggest thing is that if you are grafting hard enough, you will rest enough.
I think it did kind of touching this earlier, or it's a question in the sheet. What is your fighting style?
So I think in Thai we call it Muay Buk, and Muay Buk means aggressive fighter. I've also just been blessed with the nickname Jai Dam, and Jai Dam means black heart, heartless fighter. So I'll let that kind of self-explain itself. So I'm a very forward fighter. I like to be in the war, in the trenches. And when I was younger, when I first started fighting, I was a very back foot techie fighter, as I was saying to you before, and I'd be kind of over wary about being on the front foot, because I'd be scared to get whacked. But I used to love being in the fight, whereas now, like, I just want to hurt. And it's like, right, how can I hurt calculatively without getting hurt? So the art of moving within the fight, but evading shots, but landing shots at the same time. I don't like this to and back fighting. I like, if we're fighting and we're meeting, I'm hitting you while you're trying to hit me, and I'm evading your shots while I'm countering you. So it's a difficult style to master, because there's a way I have is like, when you fight, you have to be like this. Because if I'm like that, my head can go like that. If I'm like that, my head can't move. But then also how I'm moving is I'm moving in that and whacking you at the same time. So even if you're hitting my head, I'm like, go on, hit us again. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, that would be my style, yeah. Yeah, I like headbutting people's hands.
That's awesome. As you know, I see you fight Sam, and I seen your fighting style exactly what you said to me, and you were in like a man, and you were in there to kill it.
Yeah.
That's what I see it go, yeah. So I know what you're saying there is.
And then to back that style, sorry it's quite interesting, but to back that style is fitness. Like, I'm not just a one-rounder. Like, I can go 5 hard, you know what I mean? Like, so it's like when often lads, with that world title fight that I lost, how your man beat me, he was on the back foot, just literally picking little shots and scoring little scores. But I mean, we battered each other at the same time. And fair play to Dan, he done really well. We fought hard for 5 rounds, you know? So it's not like, oh yeah, he's got a 1 minute in him or 2 minutes or 1 round and we can get him in round 2. It's like, me, if you're going to get me in round 2, I'll get you in round 3. Like, it's going to keep building, you know? So, yeah.
So what is your favorite fight of all time?
Oh man, it's not even one of my fights, but has to be. There's 2 of them, and one fighter has been in both of them. One of them is Ben Etheridge versus Jacob Thompson. They fought in Diamond Fight, and I'm very good friends with both of them, and they absolutely tore the head off each other for 3 rounds, and it was a pure display of heart, and one of them being a bit more technical while one is running the fight a little bit more. And then the second fight would have been Jacob Thompson versus Jay Council, which was just recently this year. I mean, it was fight of the year in my opinion, but it was 2 lads that wanted that contract and did not step back. So them 2 fights were massive for me.
Respect to that. I love the fact you get 4 other fighters to defend that for your favorite fight.
Yeah.
What is your medical preparation like for a fight, for this?
So I don't really have any. I love doing it. Like, you know what I mean? So I don't need to do nothing to get myself in that mental state. I'm in it all the time, you know? And this is where, like, I feel like fighters, you shouldn't have to prepare yourself mentally for it. If you're already in it and you're already a fighter, you don't need to prepare. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I can't really mentally prepare. I just have to know that I'm not cheating myself, you know? Because sometimes, you know, we compare camps. So a fight camp is obviously a 6 to 8 week period. I'll compare camps. Oh shit, I didn't do this. Shit, I didn't do that. But then I'm like, stop looking at what you didn't do. Look at what you are doing. So what are the new things you're doing? What are you adapting? So I'll have a set base of 4 to 5 things that I have to be doing every camp. But then if there's 1 or 2 new things that I want to add in, I'll add it in, no problem. Because they can't hinder what I've already been doing for my rest of my camps. But what people will do is they'll get a bit lazy, they get a bit complacent, and they'll leave out things out of that 4 that they needed. And then they'll be like, oh, I didn't do this. And then they'll try and bring something new in, and that's what will confuse the body. So for me, it's just maintain, tick all the boxes, and leave no stone unturned. That's all I stick with.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you're always ready.
Always.
2 weeks ago, 2 years ago, like today, you're ready. It's that mindset, you're always on the level. You mentioned being the king of the jungle earlier, like a lion. And if you look at lion and lion, it's always ready. There's not a preparing for anything. It's a lion as a lion.
Yeah.
So that's what I hear when you tell me that. And so, what is the most memorable moment of your career so far?
Man, this show is mad.
So what's that?
Yeah. But yeah. This bad boy. So this will probably be the most memorable. Right. Put it back down. But I'd say now, like, this one was, but for me, like, I'd say I fought in York Hall, a very iconic boxing venue, and I won a WBC national title there. That was quite an iconic moment for me, because everyone looks at York Hall in London as a mecca of British boxing, and obviously a lot of big fighters from Ireland have fought there. You know, Mick Conlon, Katie Taylor, all these big fighters that have fought there. And then for me to fight there and then win such a prestigious belt, the World Boxing Council title, you know, obviously the Muay Thai version, not the boxing one. That for me was kind of like a massive stepping stone. It's like, wow, okay, now I've got a green belt like what Muhammad Ali has, or that Mike Tyson has, or all these guys. I'm like, and it's at home, I'm looking at it and I'm like, ah, shit, yeah, they've got a WBC, you know. So that for me was kind of a big turning point.
Obviously, you haven't achieved what Muhammad Ali and Mike Tyson have achieved, but would you put yourself in the category of the greats?
Yeah, always. I mean, especially how I fight. If you don't put yourself, I don't look at fighters above me or fighters that have achieved a lot more than me as like role models. I look at myself as a role model, you know. I am my own role model. These lads are just other role models that have done their own things, you know. They're all different individuals. They're no different, you know what I mean? They got 2 hands and 2 feet. So, like, definitely in what I'm doing in my scene, I would put myself as that. And I'm only at the beginning. I mean, I've got my first world title. I want that picture when I've got boom, 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 boom. I want the world titles like that. That's what I want.
Okay, yeah. Interesting, because you mentioned earlier you do like Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
You mentioned just there that you see yourself with all of the titles. So do you think part of your success so far and success in your future is going to be related to manifesting, visualization?
Yeah.
And do you do visualization in your day?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, visualization is the key to success. I mean, if you ain't visualizing, you're losing. Simple. You know, and if you're going, oh, I hope I win, fucking get out of here, then you ain't going to win. You know, you have to, you know, I put myself on the side of them ropes, you know, belt above my head, you know, I can see me family, I can see everyone, you know, my hand is raised, all that stuff. That's my mental preparation before fights. It's just looking at myself, you know, being that third person view of myself, you know, and that's where all my successes have come from, and that's where all my losses have come from. Because certain fights, not that I've been nervous of the person I'm fighting, but the actual event might have made me a bit nervous, and I've kind of been like, you think of, oh, what if? Boom, the minute you think what if, you're already on the loss street there. You know, there's no such thing as what ifs for me, you know what I mean? Like, even if you're the biggest, baddest looking motherfucker, I don't care, there's no what ifs. You know, it's going one way or the other. And I mean, you either get knocked out or I'm beating you over 5 rounds. That's the one way or another. There's none of this, oh, if this happens or if this loss happens, no, none of that. So yeah, visualization and manifesting obviously is massive.
Brilliant answer. That's great. And tell me this, do you do any meditation, or do you have your own style of meditation that you do in your week?
Not really, to be fair. Like, I've tried to do it so many times, I just get so bored, you know. I do it, I can't. I get like, I respect it, you know, I do. I think it is very vital. I'm not talking shy about meditation, it does work. But it just works for some people and it works for others, you know. And I feel like sometimes athletes get a bit caught up going, oh, well, I can't do it. That's good. Do something else. Just go do something else. Like, there's loads of things you can do in the world. Just because one person meditates and you can't really do it doesn't mean you're any less better than them. It just means you have to find something else to get you into that state, that meditative state. And that can be through anything, you know. I mean, probably don't want to put it on camera, but smoking a nice fat spliff on a walk is a good bit of meditation for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's me, a big fat blunt, and that's it. Like, you know, that's me. I mean, smoke, fight, and eat loads of food. I mean, that's the best way to live.
Obviously, yeah, in the Muay Thai game, smoking marijuana is a big thing.
It's massive in any game. I mean, it's not a performance enhancer. Anyone that tries to tell you about that is a f***ing dope. Like, I mean, look, it's relevant to what you like. I mean, I'm not a big drinker. I'm not into all that really, you know. But for me, it's like, that's like my separation for it. Like, as in my chill time. Like, respect.
Cheat day meal.
Right. I've got loads. Jesus. I mean, I'm a sucker for beans on toast with 2 fried eggs and a load of cheese. That is, like, for me, it's just simplicity and bang it. But, I mean, I eat well a lot. I don't actually eat a lot. food. So for me, a cheat day meal would be like a big chicken shish with either rice. If it's a cheat day, maybe chips instead, you know. And then I've got a massive sweet tooth. Like, I love chocolate. I think chocolate is definitely up there as my cheat day. But my cheat day meal would probably be just chicken, chips, chicken and rice, you know. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, I forgot about ice cream. Yeah, ice cream's the one. Häagen-Dazs Biscoff. Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. So we're just going to close the end that Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like in everyone else, you can have your off days. What do you tell yourself to push through on those days where you might be low on motivation?
Remember where you want to be. Remember who you want to be. Remember why you started. Yeah, no one likes a loser. So, you know, and my mother didn't raise a fucking queer. So I'm like, it's like, that's what I remind myself of, really, you know. And plus as well, if you give up, you're a bitch. So, like, simple, you know. If you can look in the mirror and be happy with the fact you gave up, that's fine. That's on you. No one else is going to be disappointed. No one else gives a but you will. And that's the heaviest one, you know. When you know you've given up, and you know you said, oh, I can't do it no more. All right, go then. There'll be someone else who'll fill your place very quick.
Great. Looking forward, what are your future goals and aspirations at this point?
I definitely just want to ride the wave and have fun for as long as I can in this game. It's not a very long time you can have as an athlete in this game. It's a very short career. So I just want to achieve as much as I can. The belts are cool, but I want the heads. I'm in that part of my life where it's the heads I collect that is the most important. Like, the belts are cool, but you know, if I can get as many top dog heads that are out there fighting, for me, that's perfect. And then I want to get more people on board with fighting, you know, like, I mean, especially with Muay Thai. I mean, as you know, one championship, that's a massive organization at the minute. Everyone's seeing Muay Thai in 4-ounce gloves. It's taken off pretty big, and I fight a lot of 4-ounce gloves. So I want to give more young lads the aspirations to, and young women as well, the aspirations to fight with this mentality. I feel like there's not many real fighters out there anymore. I feel like all these fighters are social media fighters. They all love looking good for the camera. I don't care about the camera. You know, I love the game. I love the art. I love what it does for me, and I love how it got me out of where I was and put me where I am now. So that for me is just where I'm striving at the minute. Maybe one day I want a gym. We'll see. You know, but yeah, just enjoying that.
Absolute respect to that answer. So speaking of young lads, and you know, before came here, we've actually given a talk in school. So what advice would you have to a young star who is interested in getting into kickboxing and Muay Thai, or who's already in kickboxing and Muay Thai?
Explore, you know. If you want to go to a gym, you know, and train out of there, fight out of there, enjoy it. Train for as long as you want, go for as long as that. And if you feel like you need to go somewhere and make a transition, go. I mean, I went to Mexico for 4 months, and that was really fun because I fought there and I actually got the Mexico #1 spot, which was quite cool. And so, like, but that only came from just taking opportunities. I seen an advertisement saying we're looking to sponsor some fighters who basically want to see your CV and see if you're up to scratch to do it. And I sent it through, and I was just, Eddie Farrell at the time, he called me. He was like, yeah, we'd love to have you over. He's like, all you need to do is buy the flight. And I think within about a day, I bought the flights to Mexico one way. And yeah, I think that would be my biggest advice. If you really want to do this game, it's not easy. It's not at all. None of it is. It's f***ing hard. Sometimes it feels it's not worth it. You know, it feels like, why am I even doing this? You know, but we don't do this game for the financial side. That's what you have to remember with anything successful. If your idea of success is the money, you probably will earn money, but you'll crumble quick. I've seen a lot of people that have earned money quick and been very successful young, and then ended up probably either 6 foot under or, you know, behind the bar. Do you know what I mean? Which is no badness against them, but the chase isn't always the best. You need to have the hunger to succeed, the hunger to get that level, like the belt or whatever. That's the hunger. The price that I get paid, I don't give a. You can pay me a tenner for a fight, I don't care. Obviously, look, I need to pay me bills at home, so I need a bit more than a tenner. But it's my drive isn't the money, my drive is in that. So for any youngsters that want to get into it, make sure it's pure, make sure you have fun, and make sure you just do whatever you want. If you want to go here, go there. If you want to go there, go here. Do you know? Just take all the opportunities you can.
I very much.
I can still. Thank you. Appreciate that. Good stuff.
RPM power, baby.